Have you ever wondered what hidden aspects shape your personality? Personality is a fascinating labyrinth of traits and tendencies that determine how we think, feel, and behave. It's a complex, multifaceted entity, and within its depth there lurks an intriguing concept, the dark core of personality. This term might sound ominous, but it simply refers to traits that allow one to prioritize personal interests, sometimes at the expense of others. Over a century ago, Charles Spearman made two profound discoveries about human intelligence. Firstly, he found that a general factor of intelligence exists, meaning that those who score high on one intelligence test often score high on others. Secondly, he introduced the principle of indifference of the indicator, stating that any sufficiently complex and comprehensive intelligence test can measure a person's general cognitive ability. Now let's imagine for a moment, if such a pattern exists within the realm of intelligence, could a similar pattern exist within the realm of personality? Could there be a general factor of personality, a common thread that ties together different aspects of our character? Just as there is a general factor of intelligence, could there be a general factor of personality? The dark core of personality, a fascinating concept, isn't it? But what does it mean? Let's delve into this intriguing concept, unravel its mysteries, and shed some light on our own hidden depths. Over a century ago, Charles Spearman made two game-changing discoveries about human intelligence. Firstly, he identified that a general factor of intelligence, or G, exists. This means that individuals who score high on one test of intelligence also tend to score high on other tests. Secondly, the G factor adheres to the principle of the indifference of the indicator. In other words, it doesn't matter what test of intelligence you use, as long as it's cognitively complex and contains enough items, you can reliably and validly measure a person's general cognitive ability. Now, fast forward to the present day, where a groundbreaking study has proposed that this principle also applies to a darker aspect of human nature. A team of researchers from Germany and Denmark suggest the existence of a general dark factor of personality, or D factor. But what are these dark traits we're referring to? In the realm of personality psychology, we often encounter individuals who consistently display ethically, morally, and socially questionable behavior. These characteristics, observed among a non-clinical population, are what we refer to as dark traits. Understanding these traits has become increasingly popular, not only in psychology but also in criminology and behavioral economics. As psychologists have continued to study these traits, it's become clear that they are related to each other. This raises an intriguing question. Is there a unifying theme among these dark traits? Could this theme be the elusive D factor that Morton Muschagen and his colleagues proposed? These dark traits are interconnected, suggesting a unifying theme. Could this be the D factor? Now, how does this D factor relate to you, you might ask? Well, the D factor isn't something confined to a dark alley or a villainous character in a movie. It's a part of the human condition, and as such, it exists within each of us to some degree. Think about it. Have you ever prioritized your own interests at the expense of others? Have you ever held beliefs that could justify behavior that might be considered malevolent? These are the shadows of the D factor in our personalities. But don't be alarmed. Recognizing these traits isn't about self-condemnation. On the contrary, it's about self-improvement. Understanding our dark traits can give us the power to control them rather than allowing them to control us. Take, for instance, the trait of Machiavellianism, one of the components of the dark triad, which includes narcissism and psychopathy. It's about manipulation and exploitation of others, unemotional callousness, and indifference to moral standards. If we recognize this trait in ourselves, we can strive to be more empathetic, to consider the feelings and perspectives of others before acting. Or consider narcissism, another trait of the dark triad. It's characterized by grandiosity, pride, egotism, and a lack of empathy. Recognizing this trait can encourage us to practice humility, to value the achievements of others as much as our own, and to cultivate empathy. Understanding these aspects of our personality can also help us navigate our relationships more effectively. By being aware of our tendencies, we can make conscious efforts to adjust our behavior in ways that foster healthier, more positive interactions. The exploration of our dark core isn't a journey to be feared, but one to be embraced. It's a path to self-awareness, to understanding not just the bright spots of our personality, but also the shadows. It's about acknowledging that we are complex beings, capable of both good and not so good behavior. And with this understanding, we can strive to bring out the best in ourselves. Exploring your own dark core can be a stepping stone to self-improvement. Are you ready to take that step?